Welcome, and today we'll take a look at how to write or organize literary commentary based on an example selection from Shakespeare's play Macbeth. So here we have the selection. This is Lady Macbeth's first speech when she's introduced in Act 1, Scene 5. And here she's read a letter from Macbeth informing her of this prophecy made by witches and this new title, Thane of Cawdor, that he's been given. And here is her first response. As we know, with commentary there are two kinds basically, seen and unseen. In this case, of course, if you're in English 10, you've read this, you've seen this, you'd be responding to this in the context of the play. Of course, when we're working on writing commentary in the middle of studying the play, it's kind of neither here nor there, so we should probably focus on trying to keep most of our commentary really within this text, and it's good practice. If it was seen commentary, you'd be expected to place this in context as you begin to consider the ideas and analyze and respond. So what we're looking at here is the way we're going to think about this for this exercise today. We're not going to use a prompt or guiding question. We're just going to try to do this. Comment on Shakespeare's use of language and or literary techniques in this speech. We're going to try to figure out what's going on here. It's pretty straightforward, I think, and so we'll start by looking closely at the text. So I have my prompt. It's no prompt. I'm just looking here for essentially what's going on. Well, if this is scene commentary, I think it's very likely that we wouldn't have this at all. We would be totally without the letter bit here, okay? But unseen, you'd probably get it because it sets some context, and generally you get that context when you're doing this kind of commentary. I'm going to assume that you've read this. If you haven't, get a copy of Macbeth or get a free online copy and read it, Act 1, Scene 5, first speech. Okay. Clams thou art in Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature, it is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. This is important. Here we have a metaphor. Alright, so I want to probably think about that a little bit later. Yet I do fear thy nature, thy must be somebody. Who is she talking to? Well, who's Glamps? Who's Cawdor? This is Macbeth. She's speaking to him on stage by herself, but he's not there. So if she's speaking to him by herself, this must be a soliloquy. Sweet. So I know that speaking to someone who's not there or something that's not there, well, we can call that apostrophe. It's a little funny when it's a person. Often apostrophe is like a cry to God or something like that. In fact, the next speech is riddled with apostrophe, but we'll just call it that for now. Okay? She's speaking to him and saying that she's too full of the milk of human kindness. So Macbeth is too nice, and she fears that. Why would she fear it? Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Well, wow, what comes sort of part and parcel then with ambition? Well, illness. Ambition is, kind of bad. Okay, you have to be a mean person to be ambitious here. And it sort of goes on and says, well, if you're going to do it right, if you're going to do it for the high point, you got to do it right, holily. Okay. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Would not play false. Well, I wonder if Lady Macbeth would do that. Let's keep going. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. Whoa. Chastise with the valor of my tongue. You don't usually hear tongues or speech being called valorous or brave. So she's basically going to nag him into action to get to the golden round, which is it's got to be a crown. Okay. Interesting. All right. So we have a couple interesting parts. I mean, there's a lot more going on in here, but I'm just going to focus on this right now. these are some pretty intense thoughts. She's basically going to manipulate Macbeth here. Okay, well, that seems like it's the kind of idea that wouldn't be too popular. Probably this is the kind of thing that is true. I mean, this is how she really feels. This is how she feels inside. These are her actual thoughts. So I'm going to call this internal dialogue. And in fact, the aside, the soliloquy, often have this internal dialogue style effect. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. The next thing I want to do is think, all right, so just to point out, I've got this illness and ambition idea. I've got the milk human kindness metaphor. And I've got to chastise the valor of my tongue. That's probably enough. I'm going to write just a single paragraph response. And just lest you think, oh, English teacher guy, so easy, you can come up with this stuff. All of this actually is from a class that I had just today with students, and these are their comments about what's going on. They actually named apostrophe, soliloquy, internal dialogue. They note that she is ambitious. She's being characterized as ambitious. It's drama, so it's dialogue, right? She's thinking aloud about Macbeth, and they believe it's her inner thoughts. You can see, I mean, this was kids working together, but they certainly got it, and I think that it is doable. So a good close reading is the way to start to have successful commentary. So now we have done the close reading, and we're all set there. What do we do next? First, we need to respond to whatever our prompt is or with a claim, a specific perspective on the text. That's our claim. The thesis needs to be descriptive about whatever it is we're going to write about. I think I'm going to write about characterization. We're going to respond to the prompt or question. In this case, it's very vague, and next time we'll take a look at something a little more specific. Then, as I start to plan, think about writing, I need to know that this is what I need to do. I need to provide evidence from text. So that means I'm going to actually use quotations and some close paraphrasing. I'm going to identify structural or literary elements. Well, I did that in my close reading. As a matter of fact, I've identified evidence already, and I see how that evidence is apostrophe. That evidence characterizes, maybe as ambitious, for example. And I see a lot going on there. The metaphor. We can get into these things, but then that's not where we stop. Now we have to explain the effect of the elements that we've identified. The effect on the meaning of the piece as a whole. Ideally something thematic, something important, a major idea, something that relates to the author's purpose. And, that is really the trick that makes really solid, substantive commentary differ from something that is, maybe a good reading, but not quite as effective. So what do we need? Well, we need that thesis claim. Here is a thesis claim that is really simple and provable. I like it because it says soliloquy. This is, by the way, from one of my students. Soliloquy characterizes Lady Macbeth as evil. Well, I've got a literary element right here. I know what this speech is. I know what it's doing. This is a literary term, characterizing. Character, know who it is, and this is descriptive. Evil. Well, evil is not nice. Evil is specific. So that is a good start. Next, if I'm writing scene commentary, my job is to put this in context. So this is where it falls in the play, and this certainly relates to her character and characterization. It's the part it plays in the characterization. It's kind of the introduction. So soon something else is coming, and it's going to get exacerbated. This kind of context is really necessary for the scene commentary, not unseen. What's next? Evidence from the text. In this speech, so I could transition. I could even have a lead here that sort of begins to paint the picture of what Lady Macbeth is like. I could easily have a transition sentence, but just down and dirty, getting to it. Here it is. This sentence provides quotes from the text. It's nice to put a line number there if you want as a citation, but for now we're just going to skip that. And you can see that basically it's just the detail. It's not the whole quote. I'm providing a little bit of context. Husband, maybe I should say husband, Macbeth. But anyway, I understand what the speech is about, and I have a detail. Now, what comes next? What comes next are these structural or literary elements and explaining the effect on meaning. Now, first I want to explain the effect on my topic idea, which is characterization, then eventually get to how that characterization relates to theme. Now I am analyzing, okay? I'm explaining how this fits. Ambition carries these dark connotations and demands an ill nature like by Macbeth, right? Ambition is going to be important. And ultimately, this is what Lady Macbeth believes, so I need to get to that. So this goes further. It takes that idea and continues to walk it on. I'm talking about apostrophe here, right? And by putting the speaking alone on stage, that means that my reader knows that I know what apostrophe means. I'm not just laundry listing details. So once I do that, now I can use it freely if I want. She's finding courage, exploring shortcomings, and plotting. This is characterization. It's what she's doing. It all makes sense, and it's building off of this detail up here, and it all relates to how she's being characterized as evil. So let's go on. Next detail is in blue. The first detail is in blue. I am sort of using these short little bits, but these are the most essential bits of the text that I want to use. And then I analyze again. Milk of human kindness, Lady Macbeth's honest internal dialogue, reveals through this metaphor, got these terms, they're accurate, I'm describing them, honest, that she does not share Macbeth's weakness, right? Macbeth is too full of this milk to directly wade through the blood of kings to the throne. That descriptive language means, hey, I know that this means he's too nice, and it's not very nice to wade through the blood of others, so, we get it. And I just need to go on then to my next detail. So if I come back to the text, you can see I'm using what I noted as I read. And I'm just coming back here and using these details. What's next? Right here. Chastise with the valor of my tongue. This manipulation, I get to really punch home how she's being characterized, and I feel like I'm in great shape. So I come back to the chastise the valor of her tongue. And Lady Macbeth is not shy about plotting her role in regicide, the murder of kings, secure in solitude. Again, back up to the soliloquy. She's talking to herself. She feels safe. Descriptive word choice just helps me express my ideas. And then finally, I conclude. Her evil, ambitious nature becomes clear. I return to the soliloquy idea. It's in my topic sentence. It's a good idea to come back to it. But I've built on evil. I've added ambitious. And then I go further. And this could be an additional sentence. I'm using this semicolon because we've been working on that. She's driven to power through any means at her disposal, no matter how cruel those means may be. It's pretty clear this is a statement about Lady Macbeth. Please note, I am not saying, in my opinion, I believe she is, I think she is, she's probably, she maybe is. I'm just making statements. They're clear. You understand that's what I think. I'm writing it. This is an example of commentary. So keep in mind these steps as we think about literary commentary. First of all, read and read closely. Then make that claim. Evil characterizes. Respond to the prompt or question if you can, if you're given it. Provide evidence from the text. Identify structural or literary elements. And explain the effect of the elements as it relates to your claim, your topic idea, or your thesis in an essay. And eventually, we want to get to the effect on meaning. That's what makes commentary rich. That's it. Good luck, folks. I hope that's helpful.